Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I'm going to do another tutorial here. This one we're going to do about rovers. Now I like to build rovers over in the space plane hangar. It's just easier for me to lay them out and whatnot. The basic rover that, say you want to send up a little tiny rover to explore Duna or something like that, you're going to want to use the Propidobidine Rovemate. This is the easiest one to use. Now, if you notice, it does start out a little awkward here, but the reason I'm building it over here in the spaceplane hangar is because we can use this place to test stuff. So just grab it and rotate it till it's upright. And let's see here. We're going to want to put wheels. So we'll come over to utility. And then we're going to want to put the wheels on there. Now, if you're building this in the vehicle assembly building, you're going to want to make sure you switch over to mirror mode. And that's done by tapping square. You're in radial mode in VAB. You want to switch to mirror mode so you see this little square down here. And then just hit L1 and square and place them down. Now I like to place them kind of up high on the body to give it a low center of mass. And the reason I place them in the middle here is because if I place them over here, you see how they look kind of, they kind of follow a circle around the inside, even though it's not circular. So the easiest way to do this is you just take it and you place it in the middle, and then you want to offset. So you come back down here, select the part, and then you just push it to whatever side you want them on. Oops. I didn't want it that close, but let's go ahead and let me reposition these things, actually. Just grab them and restart. There we go. Okay. And then we just grab ourselves another pair, place them back in the middle, and then offset them again. And this time we're going to push them all the way to the rear. Oops. It's doing that because I'm letting go of L1 before I let go of X, because I'm using fine controls. Bring that up. There we go. Switch back over to offset mode. Alright. And I'll grab one last set. And this set I'm just going to leave in the middle. And what it does is it gives me an extra set of wheels in case I break a wheel or something like that. And that way my rover's not stuck on the ground. It'll just move a lot slower. So there we go. There's our basic rover body started up. Now, let's see. I want to put a couple of panels like this for power. This way, if you forget to take and put the solar panels up, you've still got power on this craft. And let's go ahead and put our science equipment on there. Now the wheels I used is the Rove Max Model S2. They're the ones that are designed for this small Rove body. Now let's see, scientific. There we go. Go ahead and place that there. That'll work. It's going to clip through the solar panels just a little bit, but I'm happy with it. Alright, let's go ahead and put the rest of this stuff on here. And let's just building a basic science package here. So we get some science equipment on here. No, I don't want that there. But that'll work. Okay, we'll go ahead and put this in. There we go. No, come on. Yep. Alright, solar panels. What I like to do is I like to put these 1x6 solar panels on here in mirror mode. And I set them just right about there. And what that's going to do is give us the ability to extend them, but also come in and I want to rotate them just a little bit. One click over. No. Go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 clicks over. That'll work. Now I'm going to move some of this science equipment around. We got to build this kind of compact. And we'll move this forward a little bit. There. And I'm going to turn off snap mode and move this in a little bit. There we go. What that does is it opens up the front so I can place that there. But we need to move the thermometer first. Now, I know most people wouldn't put a moisture glue on this because it's a one-time thing where everything else is rerunnable, but I put it on there just for looks, basically, to give you guys an idea of how you can build these things compact, these little rovers. And then you want to check your center of mass. And you want your center of mass to always be down low on this craft. This one's got a high center of mass compared to most builds I do, but that's okay. I'm happy with that. You just want it low so the craft doesn't roll over. If your center of mass is actually above where the wheels join in, you have a high tendency to tilt over. Same thing with landers. You want to build your landers with the landing gear, the center of mass at or below the landing gear. So let's see. So this is our basic rover. And you always want to test these things before you do anything. Before you launch them. Particularly with the rovers, because You want to make sure they go the direction you want them to go. Okay, come on. Okay, I want it to be this way's front. So if I push forward, nope. See, I kind of want this to be the back, and I want that sensor on the front. So to fix that, you come over to the wheels and you just come over to the motor idle. Under motor idle, you hit reverse on one side of these wheels. Since you put two of them on at a time, anything I do to one side is going to affect the other side. So now when I push forward on the left thumbstick, oh, gotta turn off the brakes. See, here we are. And you can also mess around with the traction control. You can increase the traction control or lower the traction control and everything else. You can also invert the steering, so if you push, like here, if I go forward and I push right, I should turn right, which I did. If I push left, you should want to turn left. So that's things you want to check real quick on this. The other thing is you want to check stability. Easiest way to check stability is kind of spin it around going down a hill. You can also check stability by coming all the way over here. Hold on. Let me change this to chase mode. Okay. No, let's go lock. There we go. Another way you can check stability is go up on those mountains over there, or come over here to the Space Center, and you're aiming for basically the flagpole. Because if you come off the back of the runway and then you head straight for the flagpole, or roughly around that area, you're going to find some of the steepest climbs around the Space Center. Just because of how the building tiles were laid out. And this thing does move pretty decently for a rover. I mean, we're going to get 10.5 meters, almost 11 meters per second. I mean, it's not that fast as far as rockets or your jet planes and whatnot. But you got to remember, this thing's designed to be autonomous. Oh yeah, we do need to extend a panel, because we got to keep a track on our battery. Look at that. Our battery was starting to drop off. See, let's try a slight slope climb. Not head on, but I want to hit this at an angle. And see if we can climb up it. Yep. Then we'll drop back down it. Oh, there we go. Let's see what happened. Brakes. And we lost one of the landing gear, or one of the wheels. But because we only lost one of the wheels, I'm able to still use this thing. And I also lost the instrument on the front. But you gotta be careful, because it does want to, I mean, look at how the thing's sitting. It's going to want to lean to one side. So let's see what kind of speed I get with this. Do I still get the same speed? Yeah, pretty close. Stick it on flat land and go 10.5, 10.6. See if we can get back up to that 10.9. Nope. So we've lost 0.2 meters per second by losing that one wheel. So there we go. Hit the brakes. Tap the brakes to slow it slowly so it doesn't sink again. And let's see how it's doing. Now you could extend both solar panels to charge faster, but when you're driving around, I would recommend only using one solar panel. So build your craft so it can at least handle itself mostly with one solar panel array, because that way you've got the other one as a backup in case you flip the craft over and you destroy your solar panels. So just a thought. And that's also why I put these solar panels on the side, so we have another a way to charge this thing. It'll be able to charge at sunset, sunrise, but in midday it won't get that much of a charge. Now let's go back to the Space Center. No, back to this spaceplane hangar. Now let me show you why I left this center area on top empty. The reason is because I want to go structural. I'm going to come down here, grab one of these stack decouplers, and I want to flip it over and place it right on top. But I want the arrow pointing towards the craft. So whatever I place on top of it, that's what the stack decoupler is going to attach to. And then we're going to go utility, and we want to grab the service bay 2.5 meter. Okay. Look at that. Just place it right on top of that so it's inside. Look how nicely neat and tight that is. But you notice if I open the doors, it's not going to come out of the craft isn't going to come out of here. So let's close this. We'll grab it, rotate it, place it right back down, open it up, and look, there it is. So if I launch this thing, we can test this out by coming over here, open the doors, drop it, and then we just push forward. It didn't save the motor change that I did because I didn't do it in the spaceplane hangar. I did it out here on testing. But you see that? It rolled right out of that bay nice and neat. That's a nice delivery system right there for this little compact rover. So let's go back to the spaceplane hangar. And depending on where you're going to make this thing land, depends on what kind of stuff you want to put onto it. So let's see here. Say you're going for Duna. Well, you're going to want kind of like this heat shield. No. Inflate. There it is. You're going to want something like this. Because you're going to want a lot of air surface to slow you down if you're going to Duna, because Duna has a thin atmosphere. If you're going to a place that has a higher atmosphere, you can get away with the heat shield. Or maybe you might need to do a double stage heat shield with this and one of these heat shields. So what we do is you put this on here. Just like that. And then place that heat shield underneath it. And you can then add this heat shield to staging. So you'd be able to stage this heat shield. It would drop the heat shield off, opening it up for the other heat shield. It would drop this one off, leaving that other heat shield there in case this one burns up. Little tricks you can do for... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Another delivery system. Say you're going to a moon that has no... well, actually, either delivery system. If you're going to a system that has an atmosphere, I would recommend definitely adding on parachutes. And what you can do for this is, I like to do something like this. No, switch over to radial. Put like 4 of those there, and then I want to put 4 of these here. And the reason is what I want to do is I want to set this up as a stage. So these little ones go off first, because these little chutes, if you look, they can be fully deployed altitude, or sorry, max safe deploy speed at home is 500 meters per second, and that's with one full atmosphere. But these ones, you have to have it down to 264 meters per second. So what it does is it gives me smaller chutes that I can open up higher up in the atmosphere, going at higher speeds, to slow me down to open up these bigger chutes that I can really slow down and then land this on the surface without having to worry about it damaging. And if I'm going to a place that has no atmosphere, what I'll do is I will come in here and add something like this. Put a fuel tank on top, and then we want to put some kind of way to control our descent down to the surface. So you can put little rocket motors like this on there, and then you'll be able to control yourself going down to the ground. And it still gives you the ability to land it without so you can keep the rover inside this little bay assembly to make it aerodynamic to get it off of curbing. So I would play around with it as far as deliveries, but this little compact design has always worked great for me on this little rover. Now let me show you a few of the bigger designs. Okay. Now if you notice, you try to put these wheels on here, you're gonna be stuck with the roll like that. They're gonna be angled. Well, here's a nice little trick for building the command module rovers, where you're taking the whole entire science bay with you. Is you come down here under structure. Oops. Oh yeah, I didn't put an antenna on there. I forgot the antenna on this little rover. Anyways. What am I thinking? Oh yeah, structural. What you could do is you can come down here and grab an I-beam and place them out like that. Or you can build yourself like a little platform. Oh, let's go with the bigger one. Now, I will admit that this is going to be a pain in your butt to get into space. That is true, because that's going to act like a wing surface. But if you play around with it enough, you can get it into space. Or what you could do is use your aerodynamics. Use your 3.5 meter aerostreams, because those can stretch out far enough to stretch around this whole entire craft. I mean, look at that. It can actually stretch out further if I do it right. I think, yeah. I mean, look how far out this thing can stretch. Look at that. We're barely touching the size that this 3.5 can stretch out to. So anyways, let me grab that. Come on. So anyways, back to what I was talking about. Trying to build landing gear for this. What we're doing is we're building kind of a structure that the landing gear the wheels can work off of. Nope, not quite out there. I want them further back. And I want them sticking out a little bit. When parts are clipping through, it's a little hard to tell where exactly you're placing it. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to place it. Almost there. Alright, well, we'll call that good for right now. And then what you could do is you could stick these wheels now. Right on there. Look at that. Actually, those wheels are angled wrong. They're supposed to be angled about like that. That's what you're looking for those wheels. You could also do this where, let's see here, we will go ahead and try to tighten this up a little bit. So let's go offset. See, something like that. So you can see the difference in size that you can end up building stuff. And then you can add on to this, add science equipment along the edge here. So your Kerbals can hop out here. And then if you want them to actually get down to take surface samples, you can place this in the back. No, not toggle flag. Extend ladder. Oh, we got it upside down. There we go. And see, that gets almost all the way to the ground, which is perfect. But I don't like how it's angled. I want to angle it out just a little tiny bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it one click. Just gives it a little bit more of a ladder coming down look. There are different types of rovers you can build and everything to get these stations or whatever to the surface or to another planet. These, however, dropping them on the planet is a lot harder than dropping, say, said rover, because these you have to plan. Are you going to want to drop it vertically? I mean, are you going to want to take this thing and drop it down like this and then set something up so it slowly tilts over with like RCS or something like that? Or are you going to want to drop it onto the ground just like this on its wheels? So it's going to take a little bit of thought on your part to figure out how you want to do this. And now I can't line it back up. Interesting. I clicked there, but it didn't. But yeah, the processing lab, 2 turbines. Your cupola module, 1 turbine. So you can have a total of 3 turbines. The only way you can control this is you have to have a turbine in your cupola module. So if you got only 2 turbines, you can't process science while you're driving it around. So that's something else you want to think about. Oh, here's a nice little thing. Okay, so you got a rover basically like this. All right, real simple. Let's go ahead and put a computer module on here so I can control it. Just need a basic one. That'll work. We're only putting that on there so I can control it right now. I don't want any crew. Okay. Well, say... Oops, darn it. Okay, so you got this thing right here, and say you accidentally roll it over. How can you roll it back over? Fairly easily. Well, what you can do is come under utility and no, not that one. This, yeah, this is the one you want. Wow, do any of these landing gears lined up right? Okay. So we'll place one there, and then take another one and place it there. Now we're going to want these things to start retracted. Just like that. Right? And then we'll go ahead and flip this craft over so I can show you. Let me launch it. And there we are. We're stuck upside down. We can't go anywhere. It's like, what do we do? Well, extend their landing gear. And if you were on the moon, that little bit of push up that you saw, let's retract them. That little push up there might have actually flipped you over. Or you could position the landing gear sideways. So when you activate the landing gear, it'll flip your craft over that way. And let's go ahead and hit the brakes. Okay. And then you just retract your landing gear. and you're all set up for the next time you roll your craft over. Which, on the moon or on another planet, not that hard to do. Oh, did I already kill the battery? Yeah, I forgot to put batteries on here, and it's got awfully light batteries. Yeah, I've got no control over the craft now. Oh well. Well, there you go. Basic rover designs. As you can see, this is actually pretty sturdy, holding together, just like this. And if it wasn't for the Probe-A-Doba-Doba-Dine probe right there, you'd have 3 seats there for Kerbins. And then plus all the science equipment you can put on this. But just remember, you want to keep your center of gravity pretty low. You want to have your center of gravity underneath the craft somewhere, right around the bottom of the craft. Or a very wide wheelbase, like this, to prevent it from rolling around and tipping over. And if you do build a craft that's pretty tippy, put on a system on there so you can flip it over. And that's best done with these, particularly the LT2 landing struts, because they actually fold up and over. So that's why these are able to flip us over on our rovers. So, with that said, I'm Cat Trans Gamer. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!